The CPF salary ceiling just increased again in 2025, and this time it is $7,400 per month. Maybe some of you have forgotten, but in my last two episodes, I talked about the first time it risen for a long time, $6,300 as well as $6,800 as the CPF monthly salary cap. And do you know that next year it will be $8,000 by year 2026? And to be completely clear, there is no change in the CPF annual salary ceiling, which still stands at $102,000. What does all this means to you? We'll find out more in this video. Meanwhile, I'm sure some of you will have questions about the CPF, so join us at around 19,000 members in the Honey Money SG Telegram to ask your CPF questions there and build your retirement life. Like I mentioned earlier, this is phase 3 of the CPF salary ceiling change. So we are at the third stage, and the final stage will be $8,000. And this change will only affect the OW, ordinary wage, which in other words is your base pay, which means that above $7,400 per month of your base salary, your employer and yourself will not contribute any more CPF on the monthly level. But if we look at the overall annual level, $102,000 is still the CPF annual salary ceiling, which means that if your total compensation for the year is above $102,000, then it will not attract any more CPF contributions, whether from yourself or from your employer. So let's go in a little bit deeper, right? What does this all means to you? Because previously in year 2024, we are looking at a monthly salary ceiling of $6,800. And then in this year, it has risen to $7,400 per month, which represents a $600 increase. And for majority of us who are 55 and below, based on an employee contribution 20% and 17% employer contribution, here is what the math worked out to be. For employee, 20% multiplied by 600, that will be $120 more contribution. And then for the employer, 17% multiplied by $600, that will be $102 more from your employer. So for those of you who are already earning more than $6,800 last year, this year you will start to see more CPF contributions on a monthly basis, as well as coming from your employer. But let me repeat again, the annual CPF salary ceiling did not change. So if you already hit the $102,000 annual CPF salary ceiling, then no, it will not attract any more contributions beyond that. Let's dive in even deeper. What does this all mean when it comes to variable bonus? So if you're talking about just ordinary wages on a 12-month basis, 12 times 7,400, that is $88,800 in ordinary wage. And hence, what will be the applicable additional wage for you to earn the CPF? That will be $102,000 minus $88,800, which gives you $13,200 just for the additional wage to hit your CPF salary ceiling. Of course, this applies if you earn exactly at $7,400. But if you look at this salary level, just 2 months alone of favorable bonus would exceed the AW. And usually across industry standard, 2 months of variable bonus will be like 1 month of your AWS, annual wage supplement, as well as 1 month variable bonus if you're lucky enough. So is this increase in CPF salary ceiling a good news or bad news? I guess it all depends on what your perspective is. I would say that this is very good news for those people who believe in CPF and you are earning more than $6,800 per month, as well as you have a low variable bonus or even none at all, because some industries, they do pay a high base pay but without annual bonuses. So this would help them in a way to contribute more CPF. But I know that for some of you who do not believe in CPF, you all may see it as a negative thing, because now that you as an employee, you are taking in less take-home pay, since $120 is contributed by yourself additionally to your CPF accounts. So you may see it as a negative. But let's not forget that your employer also has to pay an additional $102 based on what we just calculated, because of the additional employer contribution based on the 70% on the higher CPF salary ceiling. And the truth is, this change will only affect a very small group of people in between the twilight zone of $6,800 and $7,400, because overall, if your total annual compensation has hit above $102,000, you will still hit the max CPF salary contribution of 37% multiplied by $102,000, which is $37,740. This is the magic CPF number for those of you who are considered high income earners, more than $7,000 and around there per month. I guess when this kind of update comes up, 2 questions will be frequently asked. Number 1, will the CPF annual salary ceiling increase? Is there any change to it? No. Okay, there is no change. It still stays at $102,000 for now. Okay, for now, because next time it may change. I say it may because I do not know anything, but in May. Number 2, does this CPF salary ceiling change affect freelancers or self-employed? The answer is no. Most of the freelancers and self-employed people only contribute to their Medisave based on their specific age bracket, and the exact number will also depend on how much they declare as their net trade income. So this will affect employees more than self-employed. Now, as you digest this transition period, do you think it's a good change or do you think it's a bad change? So for those of you who think it's good, go and comment good +1. If you think it's a bad change, just comment bad +1. And I'm sure the results will be quite lopsided, but here are the facts and the reality. We can only accept this change. We cannot control the change. And even if you complain, nothing can be changed. So we must make do the best situation of what are the cards given to us. And I hope that this video has helped you understood a bit better about the CPF salary ceiling change instead of some misconceptions and misinformations around on the internet, because this is just part of my series of that 7 CPF changes that you should be aware starting from 1st January 2025, and you can check that video out right here.